Jesse. Jesse.
What?
Jesse, we have to go play Far Cry 6 right now. Gustavo Fring is coming for us. If we don't play Far Cry 6, they'll come for my family.
Stop being a bitch.
Jesse, this is not the time to argue with me.
Mr. Y, do you hear that? Who's that? You will come and you will play Far Cry 6. Mr. Y, what do we do?
Jesse, stay calm. I brought a little tube of diarrhea. I'm going to throw it on him, Jesse. Once I do that, you have to run. You have to run as fast as you can. You think you're scary, Gustavo Fring. Well, I'll tell you something. I am the knight. I am the one that will protect this city. I am Batman.
You can tell we've been doing this for like an hour and a half.
I am the knight. Jesse, now. I was gonna say I am the one who knocks, but welcome to Press Start. That'll be the intro. We did it. Far Cry 6 had a reveal. We watched it. We enjoyed it for the most part. As well, let's kind of go around the table here. I dislike Far Cry as a series. Don't enjoy it. Never enjoyed any of the games. This time around, though, it looks more fun. They added a lot of stuff I can get behind.
So my experience with Far Cry, I haven't played any of the games before. I haven't been interested. This is the first one that's actually got me interested.
To speak on this, so I replayed 5 recently in preparation for 6. My personal favorite is 3, as I think is the case with most people. I thought 4 was meh. I thought 5 was interesting. It had some issues, over-reliance on monologues to motivate you to hate the bad guys, I think. You know, it was whatever. But 6 is intriguing to me, especially with the varied map. One of my frustrations with 5 was that the map was all rural, set in Montana, so it was all farmland, very wide open. It's an easy excuse for developers to quickly throw together a big map, basically, because they don't have to really put a lot of effort into populating it and things like that. In 6, we have a city, we have coastal regions, we have mountainous regions, forested regions. Like, there's a lot here, varied. It's beautiful. Like, it piques my interest. And then you add on top of that Giancarlo Esposito is at the helm with the villain's role. There's a lot of pieces here that could stack up to something really special, I think.
And it's the second time the Far Cry series, because I enjoyed 3 the most, despite not really liking the gameplay of it. But it's the second time we'll have a villain character who's appeared also in Better Call Saul, I guess. I don't know actually if he was in Breaking Bad, but they're both in the Breaking Bad universe. They're both tremendous in it. So that's really cool, and it's a weird coincidence that that's the case. Yeah. Maybe they're building up to a Breaking Bad video game. a Telltale Breaking Bad video game, which I would totally play.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I prefer it's not Telltale, but if they had, like, I don't know, there's got to be a way to do it, because it's so narrative, it's dark, it's gritty. The easy thing is just to be like, we'll have Naughty Dog do it. They would never do it. But having something like dark and gritty, a narrative story that takes place over the course of 80 hours, and because, like, how many hours? Let's do this math real quick. How many hours is the Breaking Bad series?
Wait, let me guess.
It's got to be 80. There's 5 seasons. There's like 12. It's got to be something like, you know what? I'm going to go with 70 hours.
70 hours?
87.
It's 61.3. That's a video game.
Yeah, man.
Yeah,
you could tell the story of Breaking Bad in a single game.
Okay.
Now, granted, like, how do you make that fun? No, not dear God, not
Jesse, I have to go fast. I need
I wanna
to
go
go fast. Mr. White, you can't go fast. He's right behind us, Mr. White. Jesse, if I don't go
He's
fast.
really good at Yakuza. Going.
Oh yeah, Yakuza. I forgot. They actually might be able to pull it off.
Yeah. I mean, granted, Yakuza's like beat 'em up.
Watashi wa Jesse des.
Breaking Bad's much like Guns and.
It's really not
Whatever.
that action based. Anyways, Far Cry 6. We got a cool protagonist. A protagonist that can be a lady or a fella.
Danny.
As we've seen. Danny Rojas.
Danny Rojas.
We've got a little background on them, kind of customizable. The one thing, this isn't on the list, but Ubisoft put something in the trailer that caught my eye. I don't know if it caught you guys' eye, but they put Far Cry 6, and then underneath it, seemingly to pat their own back, they put a Ubisoft original.
Yeah, this is the branding they have. So any first-party title from Ubisoft, they will from now on call it a Ubisoft original. So Assassin's Creed is a Ubisoft original. The Division, Ubisoft original. They're just rebranding it into that.
I mean, I kind of like it in this sense. It goes with the style of the trailer, but you know, if the game's not good, that's too bad for that branding. They must be pretty. This kind of seems like a confidence move, a little bit.
Well, I think a lot of it is that they just want it to be clear. What it signals to me is that they might be moving into publishing more games that they don't develop, which would be interesting. Because they're separating out first-party games, whereas previously, if it was a Ubisoft game, it was made by Ubisoft, right? So why would they need to brand it as a Ubisoft original? That, to me, looking at it from a business perspective, makes me think that they're going to start publishing games separately, which could be interesting. I mean, that's how they take their business up a whole nother notch, but we'll see. Beyond that, I guess it just makes it a little more unified, because as of right now, it's like, well, Assassin's Creed Syndicate was made by Ubisoft Montreal, and then this other game, Far Cry, was made by Ubisoft Quebec, and then this one, like, it's all kind of scattered. Whereas with this one, they're like, hey, all of our studios work on everything. Everybody works together. We're just going to call it Ubisoft Original and stop beating around the bush. So that at least is my understanding of why they did it. The first trailer they showed, though, really didn't look that great. I thought it was probably just because I was watching the live stream, but it just kind of looked flat and bland. There's also an issue with Ubisoft's character models, especially in Far Cry, where their mouths and their teeth aren't lit right. They like have an odd glow to it. So in shaded areas or dark areas, their mouths look like they have a light in there. It's just really weird and unsettling. After that, though, the second chunk of gameplay that they showed actually looked pretty good. It looked pretty polished. It definitely looks cross-generational. It doesn't look next generation from what we saw.
That doesn't mean it doesn't look good. I can
fantastic.
see him typing right now, those sweaty bastards. Oh, you don't think? Shut up. It looks good.
It does look good. Like, and this is the thing. Like, it's always tough because if they show what the game looks like running on a 3080 and like the cream of the crop hardware, people are gonna be like, wow, that looks fantastic. The game will come out, somebody will boot it up on their PS4 from launch day, you know, basically a 8-year-old console, and then like, wow, this looks like crap. They lied to me. And it's like, well, no, the game is designed to scale across lots of different hardware. So as to what they were capturing this on, I'm sure it was on console. That's what they tend to do for a lot of these gameplay reveals, because they tend to also be the most stable builds. But all told, like, it looked good. There were some shots that looked way better than others. I don't know if that's because one was on PC, one was on, you know, PS5, one was on Series X. I really don't know. It seemed pretty inconsistent. And I will also say a lot of the screenshots look a lot better than what we saw, which to me probably indicates that there's a good amount of compression artifacting going on with regards to the quality of the textures and things, because especially when you're talking about 4K resolutions, compression of any kind will flatten it out and make it look kind of crummy. So to me, it would imply that the game actually looks better than it appears in videos, in the same way that watching a video of something makes it look worse than if you're playing it direct on your monitor and your computer's generating the frame every 60 times a second. So there's a difference there, but all told, I think it looks good enough for the modern day, even good in some circumstances, but it's not going to go toe to toe with something like Horizon, which is just really breathtaking in a lot of ways.
We're nitpicking because I think all of us will agree we'd rather it be like, oh, it looks meh, and then we get it and it looks amazing, than have a cyberpunk situation where everyone's like,
yeah, we can no
incredible,
longer,
and then you get it and it's 1 pixel.
yeah, now if you say, wow, that looks amazing, you might feel like an idiot in like a week. So I think we can all agree it looks nice. We'll see how it goes. I think most of us will play it on PC. Maybe you two will give it a try on PS5 or something. Maybe I'll have one by then. Sony, hit me up.
Shooter, so hit me up. It's a shooter. So I'll be on PC.
Okay, cool.
I might do it on PS5.
Okay, there you go. We'll get a little. I'll definitely be doing it on my PC.
Variety.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot here. I mean, they showed vehicle customization. They showed some really wacky weapons, like one that launches CDs and then also plays the CD while you're
incredible.
Like it was cool. My concern is that like when you start leaning into that goofy side of things, it's a slippery slope to fall into like the Dead Rising trap of just going outrageous and ridiculous in every way possible, and you lose any sense of grounded gameplay you had. One of the reasons I think people like Far Cry is because the stories are gritty and they're dark and they're real and haunting in a lot of cases. When you start really leaning into the goofy side of things, I think you lose a lot of the potency with regards to the story. So I hope that they don't mix that too much, or that they keep the kind of goofy weapon stuff like separate, relegated over here. Because the CD launcher is cool. Like the fact that you could probably sever limbs with a propelled CD, like that's kind of a fun idea. I don't know what that looks like in practice mixed with the story.
It'll probably be like that James Bond weapons guy, except like he's in like a hut or something, and he's like, let me tell you what I've been working on. It's like, you have to collect all these parts for me and I can build you this crazy weapon. And it's like a side quest kind of thing. And he's like, you really want me to build that? And it's like, it's not like like you'll go and everything will be played incredibly straight, but there's just this one kooky guy that's like, I can make you a gun that shoots CDs if you like and also plays them. And then you're like, okay. It's kind of like the bubble gun in Just Cause 2, where it's like, that game's not really meant to be super serious. There's a part where like the leader character is like, you think you've got me? Try getting past these ninjas. And like 8 ninjas jump down on your car. Like, it's kind of goofy on purpose, but I think they can pull this off. I don't think it'll take it out too much. I think all the performances will be good enough to keep things grounded and serious. So we'll see.
I mean, they said because they kind of split the like second like gameplay portion up into sections, and the first one was like heavily focused on the secret camps, which really reminded me of like Red Dead 2. And it said like there's a black market dealers. And it seemed to show like that's where you're getting your weapons from, that's where you're getting your customizable cars from. So it wouldn't shock me if there is just a guy there that like is high on a lot of drugs that's just like, come over here. His backpack that's a rocket launcher.
I killed a dolphin and I carved it out into this grenade launcher. It's pretty neat. Want to buy it for 36 quibbins?
6 quibbins? Well, I would expect, I agree, Jabe. I think that's what they're going to do. And I think they'll probably do it in a Dying Light sort of way, where you find and discover the blueprint, and then, or maybe you find the weapon in like a super hit location, and that's tough to get to. And then after that, you've discovered the blueprint, and you can craft the weapon using, specialty crafting materials that you find throughout the world. Something like that, I think, it's very Ubisoft, and or like somebody gave me crap today. Ubisoft? Like, Ubisoft? The only person soft here is you, sir. And I was like, you know what? Sort of clever, I guess. Regardless, I think they're definitely going to lean into that. I just hope these weapons aren't like the mainstay. You have guns, and then you have some of these kookier weapons separately. Behave.
Okay. Oh.
It's like she's messing around.
Crazy little cat. Well, they could also go the Fallout 4 route, because Fallout 4 had some kooky weapons, and say whatever you want about that game, say whatever you want about Rage 2. Bethesda knows how to make an open world shooter. They just don't know how to make an RPG in any facet anymore. But you'd find like the junk jet or the harpoon gun, and the way you get to that is by going through like a relatively difficult section, but you found it by exploring. It rewards you for exploring the world and going to dangerous areas. So maybe they'll have something like that. I'd be okay with that. Honestly, any way they present it other than like big bad guy Gustavo Fring Anton has the CD gun and it's like, this is what I'm going to use to control the people.
What I will use to kill you.
This is what they will listen to our music and they will die for it. And then he starts just shooting people.
And they will thank us.
He like sprays silly string on a guy and he like draws a smiley. What if he's actually just like completely insane? He like puts on like a Ronald McDonald mask and starts slapping the wall. Do you think you know what's going on here? You don't. And then he just like stabs one of his guys and then throws him out a window. He goes, woo! And runs.
Funny man now? Who is
I
the
really
funny
hope you get to like choose what CDs you put in that CD launcher, because I want songs like "Staying Alive" and stuff like that.
That'd be sick.
It's like "Staying Alive," just decapitate a guy with it.
We have spent a lot of time on this. This just shows that if you put something interesting and unique into your game, even if it's just a small part of it, you can get people really excited for it. Even like we can move on to another point with it, like the dog that Cammy enjoys so much.
Yes.
Like there's these little things in this game that shows that they kind of understand what people are looking for and what would make a game fun. Like the dog, like the alligators, like the different kinds of guns you can get, like the cars and how cool they are and how you can traverse the world. It seems like this is a game that's moving definitely in the right direction. But Cam, I'm sure, is there anything you want to say about the dog?
Chorizo. It's a sausage dog. I love it so much.
A spicy sausage dog.
Spicy sausage dog. That's it.
Well, there you have it, everybody.
Can we also mention the dog is
The Twitter
like
hashtag thing.
little wheelchair.
Oh yeah, it's in a little wheelchair, and if you do hashtag Far Cry 6 on Twitter, it's the dog emoji comes up after it. There's a little like dog, so they know. They know that
They know
dog
what they
is
did, yeah.
They know
They know what they did. They're geniuses. I love that dog so much. I would love it if in the game you could be like, you have an option to like send an alligator or whatever to go and kill someone, and the dog like rides on its back and it growls at it or something.
What if it gets shot in the head though? It's a war zone. That dog could get exploded. People probably don't care too much if an alligator gets exploded, but the dog gets exploded. What if the dog is exploded? Anyways, that's Far Cry 6, everybody. Looks really cool. I think
October 7th.
October 7th. Just in time for Halloween.
Spooky.
Ooh, ghosts, goblins, and creatures of all sorts crawling in the night. Call your friends, call your family, and we'll see you next time. Goodbye, everybody.